They know I had an affair.
Anything else you want to tell me? What's going on?
I don't want to protect her.
What?
I don't want to protect her.
She hurt him?
Yeah. I hurt her.
It all started on August 13th, 2018, when a neighbor called 911 reporting that a friend who was 15 months pregnant was nowhere to be found. The 911 call was from Nicole Atkinson, a neighbor of Shannon and Chris Watts. Nicole was Shannon's dear friend. For the past week, they both were on a business trip. On 13th August 2018, around 2 a.m., Nicole dropped Shannon off at her home located at Frederick, Colorado. The next day, Nicole tried to get in touch with her, but she was not picking up her calls, nor was she returning any texts. Her car was still parked at the house when she got to know that Shannon had missed her obscene appointment, which she would never miss. Nicole grew extremely worried and called 911.
Here, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. What's going on?
So my friend, we were out of town for a business trip this weekend.
All right.
And I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She wasn't feeling well. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9. And I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls. And she was very distraught over the weekend, wasn't eating normally or drinking. And we kept trying to force it on her because she's pregnant. Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. He disclosed that to me today.
Okay.
Because I called him and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since she left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are by the front door.
She only has one vehicle?
No, they only have the one vehicle and his work truck.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. There's
she
not
took
a...
the girls and went on a play date, but they're 4 and 2. She went on a play date. Why wouldn't she take a car?
The officers called Chris Watts, the husband of Shannon, who was at work during the time of the incident, or at least he said that he was at work. When Chris arrives, he instantly moved towards Shannon's car, examining it and searching it. One would think that a person whose wife and children were missing would frantically search the whole house. He takes his sweet time opening the door for the police. Nicole discovers Shannon's phone, her wallet, and her ID, and even the children's critical medication was present at the house.
She tell you anything about leaving, moving out?
Not moving out. I mean, the last time I talked to her was this morning. She said she was going to take the kids to a friend's house, and that's where she was going to be. And then I've texted her today. I've never heard anything. But cars here. Cars are here. Unless somebody came and picked her up. But the people that I know, nobody's heard from her. Nobody's seen her.
You guys having any kind of issues, marital issues, or?
We're going through separation.
You are? Did you guys file it yet or anything, or just talking about it?
No, we're gonna sell the house and do a separation.
How's that going?
It's going
Civil for the most
civil,
part, or?
yeah.
Chris informs the police that they were going through a separation. From Chris's side of the story, Shannon had taken the kids and gone to her friend's house to blow off some steam caused by the separation situation. But his version would soon to be proved wrong when a CCTV recording of the neighbor's house showed that no one else left the house except for Chris. Chris, who was calm and composed, had now started to lose his cool.
Because if there is any sort of action out there,
His camera's
I would have got it.
Like
Right.
we had issues the other week when people were stealing stuff out of like garages and stuff like that. And I have parked my truck
I
right
had
here.
it parked right here.
Yeah. So
see if
I can see
anything
where
happened.
someone tried to jimmy with a flathead screwdriver. But that could have been the sensor as well. It says it was shut during the day, but I think when Nikki's son, he may try to move the door around, maybe when they were trying to get in the garage door, and it probably broke the laser there. That's because my alarm started going off.
Well, I know he said the front door he tried going in, but he had the lock up.
That's for
So
the
that
kids,
set
so
it
they don't
off,
get out.
right?
And our remote on the outside doesn't work anymore. It got wet. And the whole radio on the ground.
So yeah, that was it.
All right, appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
What the video shows is Chris making several trips from the garage to the driver's side of the vehicle, which was on the other side of the car and on the opposite side of the angle where the camera is situated, so you cannot see what he is loading into the car. After Chris leaves, his neighbor informs the police how bizarre his behavior was the whole time.
No.
He's never fidgety, he's never rocking back and forth, and if you look, he never brings his stuff in and out of the garage ever.
Right.
And it doesn't look like he honest with you, my wife and I were kind of wondering when she was on vacation if something happened, because I've heard them full out screaming at each other at the top of their lungs, and he gets crazy.
Does he? And that's pretty recently.
Yeah.
This was the very first moment when Chris became the main suspect of the case. When the police thoroughly searched the house, they could not find any evidence of foul play. Each and every item in the house was perfectly placed. The only thing out of the place that they noticed was the missing bedsheet from the master bedroom. Due to the sheer seriousness of the case, the CBI and the FBI joined the investigation. They extensively searched the house, the backyard, and the cars. During this time, Chris gave several interviews to the press. How he acted and called his wife and kids without showing any emotion will make you sick to the stomach.
When I got home yesterday, it was like a ghost town. Like, she wasn't here. Kids weren't here. I have no idea like where they went. If she wasn't here, like where did she go? Like once I got here, it was like, all right, who can I call? If she's vanished, like I want her back so bad. I want those kids back so bad. Last night, I wanted that knock on the door. I wanted to see those kids running, just barrel rush me and just give me a hug and knock me on the ground. I'm hoping that somebody sees something or somebody knows something and comes forward. I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like somebody has to come forward.
Did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
His words were meticulous and calculated. He purposefully emphasized in front of the news the emotional argument they had just before Shannon had gone missing. You can clearly see him smiling, even laughing several times during the course of the interview. Few days later, he was called in for questioning by the FBI Special Agent Ram Coder. From the very starting of the interview, Chris started showing signs of a guilty intent. He kept referring to his wife and daughters in the past tense.
Celeste loved those shoes, even though they were winter shoes. But she loved those shoes. She always loved those shoes. And Bella, she loved that dress. She loved those flip-flops. She was a girly girl.
What do you think happens?
At first, I really thought maybe she was just at somebody's house, just decompressing.
Just blowing off steam.
Yeah. But after today, like with the onslaught of all the cars, all the police cars, all the news, all the canine units, it's making me lean the other direction about someone took her.
Okay.
But it's just, if someone took her, it would have to have been someone she knew. Because there's no sign of anything like being disturbed, broken.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's the way I'm leaning now. At first I thought for real she was just decompressing somewhere. I thought she was safe, even though everything in the house was left there. But now it's just after the day with the news crews and everything, it feels more the other direction, and it's freaking me out.
He was stuck on making a point that Shannon had took the girls and left for her friend's house. But Agent Coder reminded him how things are not looking good for him because he was the only one leaving the house on 14th August, thereby making him the main suspect.
The day she goes missing is the day that you guys have marital discord. So you can understand what I'm thinking about you.
Yeah, it makes me sick to my stomach, honestly. Like this is something that I would never do.
Are you telling me the truth?
I'm telling you the absolute truth.
Why should I believe you?
Because I'm a very trustworthy person.
While in one room Chris's interview was going on, simultaneously the police were also questioning a very important character in the story, Nicole Kessinger, a co-worker with whom Chris was having an affair. The police found evidence of the affair from his work emails. Kessinger also came forward to the police in order to expose the relationship. She claimed that Watts had told her that he was separated, that he was at the end of the divorce proceedings. Knowing about his affair with Kessinger, Agent Coder tried to ask him about his marital relationship and that if he's ever cheated.
So I need to ask you about your marriage and infidelity.
Sure.
Okay, tell me about it.
I have never cheated on my wife.
Okay.
And I fully suspect she has never done that to me.
Oh, okay.
I fully expect if we ever thought about straying another way,
that we would tell each other before it happened. I think that sounds ridiculous. I gotta ask, what's her name? I don't have another one. You sure? I'm sure. Okay.
The next day, Chris was tested by the polygraph and had miserably failed the test. The police then brought his father as a bait, hoping that he would admit something to his dad, and they were right. He did admit.
Your girl. Oh, you guys want to?
When I was downstairs, I came back up and they were gone.
Did she kill him?
They were blue.
She took both of them to death.
I freaked out at the champagne.
So she killed both CC and Bell. Took them to death.
That's rage. I'm glad.
He had blamed Shannon for killing the kids, and he had strangled Shannon in a fit of rage after watching her smother their two daughters, Bella and Celeste. According to him, she was upset because he had tried to talk to her about separation and ending their marriage, and she had retaliated by attacking the girls.
On the monitor, those covers were like pulled off and she was just laying there. Blue. She was in there with her.
What happened?
I put my hands around my wife's neck and did that.
On August 15, when Chris's polygraph test was going on, simultaneously the police were investigating the area where he worked. It was an oil field. They found a white sheet, which was the same sheet missing from the master bedroom of the Watts home. They had also found an area where the dirt was disturbed, like something was buried and the dirt was poured all over it. For the police, the time was crucial to know the exact details where the bodies were disposed of.
What is that?
So February 319.
Okay. Whereabouts is Shanann and the girls? Okay, can you mark it for me? Is that S for Shanann? Okay. And where are the girls at?
Here. Are they in the tanks?
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
The investigators wasted no time in getting the bodies out. At 11 p.m., they excavated the dirt. Shannon's body was found curled up, almost as she was discarded as trash. The most complicated task was getting the girls out of the oil tankers, as they first had to drain out the fluid, which had to be collected into containers for the forensics to find evidence in it. Investigators were skeptical at first, as the openings in the tanks were not big enough to fit a child, but then they found blonde hair on the inlet of the tank, which confirmed their dread of finding two little girls in the oil tankers. The police now had the job of determining if the injuries matched the version of events Chris described. The autopsy of Shannon confirmed that she had died of asphyxiation due to manual strangulation, but the autopsy of Cece confirmed that Chris had been lying the whole time. Chris told them that he had witnessed Shannon strangling Cece, but she had died due to asphyxiation caused by a manual smothering. Investigators found injuries on Bella's body which suggested that she had fought back. Her body also had marks caused due to her being forced into the small inlet of the oil tanker. The evidence found had confirmed that Chris was solely responsible for the death of his entire family. The police charged Chris Watts with 3 charges of murder in the first degree as to Shannon, Bella and Celeste, a wrongful termination of pregnancy as to Nico Watts, who was their unborn child. They were preparing for a murder trial. While the investigation was still going on, the evidence was being collected, witnesses were being questioned. The police got a call from Chris saying that he will plead guilty to all his charges. He admitted to those charges to escape the death penalty, although the state wanted to get him the death, but Shannon's family refused. Ultimately, he got 3 life sentences and an additional of 84 years in prison without the possibility of parole. But neither the police nor the media knew what the truth was. What happened on the night of August 13th? Why did the girls have to die that night? The only one who could answer these questions was in prison. So the officers went to Wisconsin to have one last conversation with him.
So she followed you and you put Shanann in the truck. Okay. And then what?
Put my lunchbox and stuff in the truck and then grab the kids and then put them.
So you put Shanann in the truck and then you put the two girls in the truck. Shanann was back there too.
She was on the floor.
What did they say about Shanann being on the floor?
Mommy, okay?
What did you tell them?
She'll be fine. I didn't want the girls looking at Shanann while they were in the back seat.
So what'd you do?
I put a trash bag on one end and on her feet and on her head so they didn't have to see. When I was driving up there, I mean, they were just, kind of asleep or kind of just like, holding on to each other, laying in each other's laps. I took Shanann out and then
What were the girls doing when we were doing that?
just sitting in the back of the truck.
No.
CC was first.
He told the police that the girls were alive during the whole 1-hour ride to the oil field, and not once did the thought cross his mind that they are his little girls and that he should spare their lives. He first smothered Cece and went out to the tanker. He climbed the tanker and then dropped her body through the inlet. All this was being witnessed by Bella, who was scared for her life, shouting at her daddy to spare her life, but he did the same thing to her.
Is it possible that in your mind you didn't want them to suffer throughout their life? Was this like a mercy thing?
I mean, you can say that like after the fact, but it was just like,
You didn't feel like that,
I just didn't, it felt like it was just like an anger with Shanann, with everything that I was just taking it out on everybody that was in front of me that morning.
At his trial, Shannon's family had the chance to speak for the very first time. Each word they spoke was filled with grief. They were devastated, yet they remained calm and gave a befitting reply to their daughter's killer.
But God only knows what happened that night. Life will never be the same without Shanann, Bella, and Celeste and Nico. Had all their lives to live. They were taken by a heartless one. This is the heartless one, the evil monster, who dare you take the lives of my daughter Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. The heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me.
We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you, and they also trusted you. Your daughter Bella Marie sang a song proudly. And I don't know if you got to see it, but it was Daddy, You're My Hero.
My daddy is a hero. He helps me grow up strong. He helped me snuggle too. He reads me books. He ties my shoes. If you're a hero, blue and blue, my daddy is love you.
I have no idea who gave you the right to take their lives. But I know God and His mighty angels were there at that moment to bring them home to paradise. God gives us free will. So not only did you take the family of four, your family of four, you took your own life. I want the world to know that our daughter and her children were so loved by us. There will always be protected by God and His mighty angels. I didn't want death for you because that's not my right. Your life is between you and God now, and I pray that He has mercy for you. From Shannon's mother, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine, and Nico Lee's Nana. Thank you, Your Honor.